Hello, welcome to all of you who are joining us at this moment. I will enjoy the opportunity of seeing you in chat. So as you're entering on this wonderful day, hi Tara, go ahead and answer what brings you joy today? What's getting you to smile today as we're coming together on this lovely Tuesday evening? The sun is out, awesome. We had a beautiful weather day here in Maryland. Oh, I love that, spending time with your son. My sons are all older and they've all moved away. So I just get to spend time on Zoom, but I'm looking forward to other days. Time with the family. Okay, awesome. So we're sharing in chat what brings you joy. Oh, Shelly, that is awesome. That is awesome. I have a little story to tell too about my dental hygienist. Oh my gosh, Vegas. Did you win anything, Carrie? Tell us what you won. Or if you didn't win, just say you had fun. So we have some really cool moments of joy here. So we've got about 2 minutes before we're going to get started. So keep the chat going, warm up those fingers so I know what's going on. Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, I swear that you feel like you see the light at the end of the tunnel now. Is that true for folks? The joy has been for me every time I can see my kids on Zoom, but I am planning in May to see them in person. I get my second vaccine coming up here pretty soon. So I'm ready to go. Yes, during returning to traveling is going to be like awesome. Some of us have really missed that. Yeah. So what's going to be the first place that you guys travel to? Anybody have any hot plans really waiting to go? I texted my boys and told them that I was making plans. I have one in New York. I have one in Pennsylvania, which is a just simple drive. And I have one in California. Phoenix. Yes. I like Phoenix. I really do. Oh, Tiffany, I am so jealous. That was supposed to be we were going to do, and then we didn't do it. San Diego, I love this. All right, we've got some great spaces. Of course, I should have known Phoenix was all about ADHA. Of course. And Kelsey, if you've got a quick link to that, to the meeting in case everybody hasn't had a chance to do a last minute registration there. Seattle to see your granddaughters. How old are they, Nancy? I finally have 2 granddaughters and I'm super excited about it. There we go. Great. From Michigan, Sandy, good to have you on. Okay, guys. I have 8 o'clock Eastern time straight up. So I am super excited that we're all here today and very much excited about this particular topic. So in chat, does anybody know the song Baby Come Back? Anybody can remember any of the words of the song Baby Come Back? Spending all my nights, all my money going out of town, doing anything just to get you off my mind is how it begins. And then it's, oh, any kind of folk could see. Yes, Sandy. So baby, come back. Guys, we do not want to have our members who haven't paid dues yet. We do not want them to get off our mind. We want to actually keep them engaged. And that's why we have this conversation. That's why we're here today. So we can talk very much about how do we engage folks when they haven't made that renewal decision affirmed. Now, I want to make a point for you that is very natural for the first year members to need a little extra nudge or two on that renewal decision, particularly if they came in during this crazy time of COVID. So it's natural, and we have an opportunity to engage them in some really meaningful ways and get them back in again. So as we get started, though, I want to pause for just a moment. April is when we shine the light on our fabulous volunteers, including all of you. Round of applause. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and the ADHA staff joins me in this, and thanking you for being a volunteer and being really part of what allows ADHA's whole community to meet our members' needs. So I had to do that quick thank you, because to me, you guys are truly, truly special. So as we enter this conversation, let me start by giving you a stat, which I think is very interesting. It comes from Membership Academy Industry Report. 25% of people who leave ultimately come back. Now that gives us hope. So let's just talk a little bit about how we can get that 25% back faster and maybe even beat those odds. I got a couple of polls for you, and I want to start with a poll to find out from you why did you renew? So let me launch this poll. I'm looking for you to share your top motivation. If the answer is other, go ahead and put in the chat what the other is. But I've given you these options based on what we've heard from people like you. But is it, really about supporting the organization, that kind of idea, giving back? Maybe it's access to programming. Maybe it's your network. It's your people, right? Your peeps. Maybe it's because you're in leadership and that just keeps you hooked in. Maybe there's some other reason that isn't here. So please, by all means, put that in chat. All right, I've got... you guys are fast. I love your flexible, your nimble fingers here. We got a couple more folks, and I'm kind of curious about this. I've got a couple people who've said others, so I'm waiting to see something in chat on that, because that is going to always be useful for us, and it helps us decode, right? So I'm going to give it just another 5 seconds, and Laurie, I love that. To give back to the profession I love. All right. So let me stop the polling and share the results. So many of you said it was because you were supporting the organization, and a number of you said it was in leadership, and some of you said my network. I was surprised, not terribly, but a little surprised about access to programming not being one. But let me explain something to you. When we ask people all over the membership gamut about why they renew, lots of times it's give back, support, professional responsibility. Yes, Catherine. And the other piece of it is I'm engaged, my network, my people in leadership. All right, let me ask you another poll question. What do you think is the number one reasons members say they do not renew? Okay. So go ahead and launch that polling. What's the top reason members say they do not renew? Now, these are answers, by the way, that your non-renewing members gave us. So what do you think? Didn't engage, cost, didn't see value, no time. Yes, better together. Thank you, Maria. I love that. And you're giving a shout out to Jessica on that. Better together is so much the mantra for us to share. Boy, you guys were jumping in on this pretty quickly. I'm seeing some good answers. No time, not employed, didn't see value, cost, didn't engage. So we're going ahead. We're seeing a couple of other things. All right, let me give you about 5 more seconds here. I think you guys are pretty smart cookies, as we say. I'm going to end the polling and share the results. So most of you said it didn't see the value, and you're absolutely right. Cost is important. Cost is a placeholder, and most of it is coming to didn't see value. Now, it is true that there were a number of folks who were non-employed or underemployed, and that did become a delimiter. That was a number 3 choice, actually. Now, what's interesting is one of you said didn't engage, and I'm going to suggest to you that the didn't see value is connected to that by the hip. In fact, it is the reason, according to MGI, which is one of the big research companies in a membership organizations, has found across the gamut that folks don't renew. So my question to you is, if we understand why you renew, which is the connection to the people, the connection to what you guys are doing, and we know that it's the lack of that feeling of connection that gets people, we put those 2 things together, we've got a place to go. Now, let me suggest to you that as we look across associations, that we're seeing almost kind of a resurgence of the importance of association memberships. Now, why do I say that? Well, because again, this is a survey that was done across all associations. 51% of members said that that their association was more important to them than ever before than pre-pandemic times. 39% said that they are engaging in new ways and they're engaging more deeply with their organizations. 67% said, oh my gosh, this is all 68%. This is all about industry information. You were there at the time that was important for me. And 92% said it opened new doors through virtual and online. And that really dealt with the accessibility, no time issues, right? So yes, Carmen, I totally love your comment. They're costing because they didn't see the value. Yes, there is that double thing. And if they don't see the value, the cost becomes really important. So if we understand that members are in general looking favorably at their associations who help them navigate in these tough times, how can we act on that? How can we help our members see through the information that we provide them and the connections that we have available to them that they can truly see the value? Well, I think it's worth us taking just a moment to go back to that 25%. And as we go back to that 25%, to look at what we understand are two truths about this whole decoding of how do we re-engage those folks that haven't yet pulled that renewal lever. The first is just a pure cost thing, right? It costs 5 times more to attract a new customer than it does to keep a customer. And along with that, the sales success rate, so that's this rate of selling more to a customer, right, is about 60 to 70% versus 5-ish% to a non-member. So when we renew, it costs us less money to keep people in the family, and it allows us to have them engaged in other ways as customers for us or with us, right? But here's the real important truth. They demonstrated a need for us at some point. They click that join lever. What we need to do at this point is we've got to figure out how do we get back to that. We've got to figure out how do we help them make that connection back to us again. And it's not hard. Now, one of the things that we did for you is we did a renewal kit. And in this renewal kit, we gave you some themes, some language to use, some templates, some tools to help you get people back to that need that they had demonstrated, to help you speak about some of the benefits and the value of the membership. What I want to do right now is ask you, we did ask you a little bit about what part of the toolkit you're using, but I want to find out what was your favorite part. So I'm going to give our final poll here. And I am going to go to, what is your go-to part of the renewal kit? In other words, when you look at that renewal kit, was there something that you found that was really useful? And the reason why I'm asking this is I want us in today's conversation to build on the tools, the templates, the resources in that renewal kit. So I want you to share with us what was your go-to part. And then I want you also maybe in chat to tell us why it was a go-to part or tell us what else you need. So as we go through this conversation, we can look for places where we can continue to help you. So you guys are weighing in. I love this. We did give you the don't use, didn't know better, didn't use it. That's completely understandable. No one's pointing any fingers. This is completely anonymous. But I am seeing a lot of folks were using a couple of the different pieces, including the templates and the images, and a few looking at the email and marketing schedule. So let me give you just a few more moments here, and we'll share with you what the answer is. All righty, let me share the results. So a fair number, if you didn't use it, that's okay. We're going to get this to you. I love it. Comment in here, you love the entire kit. I love that. And I love social media as a hit as it attracts many. Absolutely. Thank you for putting that in. Professional and easy to use. Great, Laurie. Yes. So I love the fact that the social media images were very valuable to you. We did see them floating up in your social media channels, which was awesome. And some of you used some email templates and fun. Very good. Now, if there's anything else that we could give you, just let us know. I mean, we're trying to improve and perfect and otherwise give you the resources that you need. Okay. So here's a screen grab of some of the items that were in it. So if you are wondering what we're talking about, we can get that link to you and you can go and take a look at it. And I would encourage you to, because there is sample email copy, there are templates, and you can still use these images. You could use them in an email, in an email series if you're sending them to some folks you're trying to get to renew. All right, let's build on that kit by unlocking 3 secrets to really getting folks to pull that lever, getting folks to pull the lever. So I want to start with this whole concept of once a member, always a member. Now, what we found, and particularly in newer members, is that they lapse largely because they're a little unclear. They're a little unclear about the values sometimes. And they don't always see the urgency. And so sometimes it's just procrastination. Sometimes it's just simply a matter of waiting to get around to it. So I say once a member, always a member. In other words, they're still thinking, they're still part of us. We have to show them the urgency and provide the clarity in order for them to be able to make that connection and pull that lever. I love this quote from Chip Heath. What looks like resistance is often a lack of clarity. So true. And so what I'm going to suggest to you is that what we really need to do is we need to help them understand the value, to connect their initial needs to the organizations in a way that can be really, really meaningful. So let me put it to you this way. Every one of our lapsed members is an individual. Every one of them has their own unique fingerprint. And if we're going to actually bring them back into the fold, if we're going to be able to trigger them in making that renewal, then we just have to figure out those triggers. We have to figure out those points, and we have to build on those points, build on what our members are saying is important. The folks that do what I call reinstatement campaigns, who go like folks like you who say, oh, let me see who's on that list that hasn't renewed and reach out to them. They're successful when the reach is personal. They're successful when they really understand the why. So let me give you a couple of thoughts about how you might be able to approach this. So to me, the first thing is to find out, again, the why. Now, maybe they said it was cost or too expensive. So this is where you can ask, are they aware of the quarterly payments, which make it easy because you understand being the need to be able to pay things over time. Do you, and ask them, did they experience any of the savings? Because the savings put money back into their wallet. Maybe they say, look, I just didn't use it. I'm too busy. I didn't have any time. This is where you can say to them, well, you can join us on your own time. Ask them, are you familiar with their Facebook page? Ask them, have you done any of our virtual events? Ask them, do they know about the archived and on-demand learning? Now, here's the power statement that I have seen work over and over again for me, which is to say, you know what? At the end of the day, we're here when you have time. Stay connected with us. And when you have the time, know that we're here. We've got you back. Maybe the answer is they didn't use. Okay. So this is where the question that is the power question is. So, well, then tell me a little bit more about what's important to you. What I want you to do here is not do a laundry list of benefits and features. The reality is that we all have a long list of things we do for members, but members generally will join and renew for 2, maximum 3 reasons. In other words, this laundry list is wonderful, but only 2 or 3 things are going to be the real push for somebody. So at this point, if they didn't use it, say, oh, well, that's, we're always looking at what we're doing and how we're doing it. I would love to know what's important to you. What would be useful to you? Now, what you might do also is to say, well, did you hear about our insert advocacy win? Whatever you guys did at the state level this past year, every one of you won something. Every one of you moved a mountain or at least a rock for your members. And this is when you can talk about that and say, did you get your vaccine on time? Did you? Oh, wow. We were so excited to be part of that. Don't feel like you have to oversell it. What I really want you to do is have a conversation, right? So let's say they answer the question, what's important to you? And maybe it's saving money. So here is an opportunity for you to say, oh, well, there's lots of ways that we can save money. Are you familiar with the different insurances we have? Or did you know that we have member pricing? So the opportunity is if they say, well, it's really important to save money, and that's why I didn't do it because I wasn't, because it's going to cost me money to do it. Oh, but we're going to save you money. So let's talk about that. Maybe, well, I just, the only thing that's important to me is my CE. I just have to have the education I need to have. Then you could say, wow, that is awesome. It's important to me too. So if it's important to me, I can share with you something I found really important. It's priceless and it's only for members. And that's the CE Smart Tracker. Have you used it? I mean, it has saved me time and energy, right? Or maybe you say to them, wow, well, you know what I really love with the CE is the online learning platform. Did you know that they are putting in new topics monthly? So see, this is how you share whatever's important to you back to them once you know CE is important. Sandy, I got to pause for a moment. Priceless. You broke it down to 85 to 90 cents a day or a Starbucks a week. I love that. It's us helping folks see that it really is affordable and then connecting to what's important. So maybe what's important was more about the healthcare, because if they're underemployed, right, maybe they're looking for any place that they can solve their own healthcare needs. And so maybe it's a dental or a vision insurance. The bottom line, what I'm inviting you to do at this point is I'm inviting you to have conversations with folks and then using your own experience, bringing them back into the fold. I don't want you to go and sell them. I want you to get to know what makes them tick, what makes them different. And then I want you to help them navigate the incredible things that you are doing for them so that they see that value connection. So let's talk about the second secret. The second secret is engagement opens the door. Now, one could say the horse has already left the barn. I never believe that. I believe he's still out there in the field, and we can bring him back in again by creating some engagement. The bottom line is when people say don't see the value, it's mostly because they didn't make a connection. And what we can do with engagement is we can, through content as well as events and activities, create conversations which create connections. So what I really want you to do is to think about how engagement can keep the door open. Now, with somebody who's already in a lapsed area, so they did not choose to renew yet, you have an opportunity still to share with them some content, to get them in a conversation, to show them how they can engage with your group. But the other element I want you to do is, and we're going to talk about this in just a moment, is maybe now is the time for you to try something new and then share it with that folks. Show them another new, interesting way to be engagement. Now, coming up on our next webinar, which will be available to you next week as a recorded webinar, is we're going to be talking all about conversation and content. And so we'll give you some more ideas right then. But I wanted to run through a couple of ideas for you right now, because I want you to begin thinking that how can you connect the engagement as in part of this puzzle. So as you guys know, if any of you have been here before with me, you know I love to check out the kind of work that you're doing. So I'm in Maryland, so I always go to the Maryland and the Howard County. Oh, side story, I just had my teeth cleaned Monday. Now, as you can tell, very good job. And I love my dental hygienist, Michelle. And Michelle is active. And I said to her, well, why did you renew? And she said to me, because her state group does so much for her. And she said it was priceless with their ability to get PPE, to keep her in the loop, to make her feel comfortable about going back on the job. And she said she's been mesmerized by the support, and not just support, but meaningful support. So when I look at this and I asked her, like, are you on the Facebook? Oh, sure. There's all kinds of information and conversations. So I just want you to know the reason why I share these things with you is because you have members out there, and this is how they're connecting with you. I totally love what Howard County has done in theirs. They've got, I believe it is, and let me see if I can find my little notes here. I think they have a close to like 265 265 members right there. So they've got members. And look at all the conversation. There are comments on each one of these. I totally love the big thank you to everybody who was able to join. Look at this, a big thank you message that came from one of the presentations. But I just love this also. I mean, Sabrina posted and she got going this really cool, tell us what you think. And they they got 14 folks telling them about what their preference would be. So let me show you the Virginia Dental Hygienist Association. And the reason why I want to show you this one is because one of the most active posts they have is this whole post around temp and job requests, where they were just getting they were becoming a connector in a way that was really, really important. But I also love looking over to the left side of your screen. Kristen Robbins says, I have a patient moving to Virginia Beach, and blah, 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 blah. He wants this. And look at this, right away, got some amazing recommendations. Guys, you don't have to come to a meeting, but this makes my Dental Hygienist Association important to me, right? Oklahoma, I had to show the Oklahoma one because check out that post on getting the vaccines. And do you love this? Abby saying we're in this together. Now, I don't know. We have one question I'm going to ask in just a moment. I don't know if I've got folks here from Oklahoma, from Howard County, from Virginia, from Maryland, or from any of the other groups, but do me a favor. Share what you guys are doing. And please, if you're from one of these groups, take a round of applause from us. Now, one of the folks is talking, yay! One of the folks is asking the question, do they have member-only private Facebook pages? I noticed as I was going through, there were a couple that were private. Most of them were open. Share with Linda by clicking all panelists and attendees. So you have several options on the chat. One of them is all panelists and attendees. Do me a favor and help answer Linda's question by mentioning whether your group is private, whether it is open, and if you have a particular reason why you chose that. I will tell you, with the groups that I manage, all of them are open, and they're open because we had a closed one, and we found the closed one limited it, and we were able to upsell folks, their prospects. All right, so keep going. We've got to go. And I've got one person come in and saying public. So keep going. I'm going to show you a couple of other ones. I love this. It's the Kitchen and Bath Association's the Carolina chapter. They always do a donation for the crisis assistant. They always do a big event, and they have this fundraiser as a side thing. This year, they decided to do it virtually, and they used the Amazon page to be able to members to it to be able to give to based on what the crisis assistant ministry needed. They got a number of people who weren't doing anything else with them in this very busy, crazy time, but who did that and found meaning. I love to share this. This is PSA Maryland. They went out and they really asked people to find something that fit. So rather than having a you got to be on a committee, they talked about one-time opportunities. They talked about team opportunities. Basically, they were helping people find different ways of being engaged. A couple of last minute ones I've just got to share with you. So this is the Foresters Association. I'm sharing this with you because they have a limited first 20 registrants in early in the morning, a good morning Foresters, and it's coffee, consultants, and conversations. And it is an opportunity just to have a quick conversation over your morning cup of joe, right? Then here's another example. This one is all about telephone. Forget the Zoom. We're just going to have an expert. We're going to invite them onto a phone call. You can listen in. You can be on your walk. You can be on your drive, but you have the opportunity to post in some questions. And then this one caught my eye 110%. What they did was they created an audiogram, and they've taken this from to beyond their conference. But the audiogram basically are snippets, top takeaways or snippets of a particular session that they then share out with members to show them the true value. So what if you tried an early morning limited attendance coffee? What if you did audiograms, or what if you did simply conference calls and called them a teleforum? I'm offering you these ideas mostly because I want us to get a little outside the box so that when we talk with our lapsed members, we can show them that we're changing and we're doing things in some really cool ways. All right. So a lot of you have responded about your Facebook pages, and some of them are responded to just the panelists. So I will read a couple of them real quickly. I definitely love Tiffany. I love the fact that you have both open and closed. That's a cool way of doing it. Lynn talks about all hygienists to connect. I think that is really cool. It kind of builds numbers for your advocacy, which is neat. Missouri has an open and a closed. They have a Facebook page. It's public. We have 2 open pages in Indiana. And we will share some of this chat with you, but to the question, it really depends over what's going to be most valuable for you. I would suggest you start open and then close it if you feel there could be some more privacy, because once people are in it, they're going to want to be in it. Okay, let's move along here. My favorite one is guys, we got value. You got value. I've already shown you just little snippets of the value that you have. You've got value. Have you tooted your horn yet? Have you really told your members what you did? Besides doing it, have you reminded them? Have you told the folks that maybe missed some of that, what they missed? So let me give you some examples of how you can toot this. And I really want you to toot your own horn. So PSA Maryland, our guy who led, this was a volunteer did this, our guy who led the judging team, after the judging was completed, did this using Canva, this little infographic, and shared it. Well, we are in the midst of our pulling our judges for this year and having no problem. Why? Because look at this. Doesn't it look exciting? Like it was impactful? On the other side, you have a local, it's a lawyer group, right? Talking about what benefits that they produced annually. So on the bottom, I'd like to share with you that Canva, Pictochart, and Venngage all have does anybody use any of these? Go ahead and chat in if you use any of these, because the beautiful thing about these is that, good, Canva. Okay, so you've got some people that you can touch base with if you haven't done this. This allows you to take something simple using a template and create a really cool conversation piece that allows you to show your members what you're doing for them and with them. All right, guys, I love this. Canva, Canva, Canva. Several of you have done Canva. So maybe you guys should have a quick Canva users group and share share what you're doing. And here's a great use for Canva or whatever you want to do. Let's say that we took this regular ADHA membership benefits form. Okay. This is very generic. It says, these are the things that you're going to get from a benefit. What if you annotated? Now, I played with this, please. It's not perfect by any means at all, but I played with this and imagined that I might have been one of your groups and said, I want members to know that these are all benefits that they get from ADHA. And we add to those benefits. We are the value add in many ways, right? We're bringing additional stuff to the table. So at the end of the day, your dollars that you're paying are well worth it because you're getting great value. So I said, well, what would I do? I said, so let's say, for example, under support, you said, well, hey, we had this legislative win, insert win, right? Something that you did. I noticed that obviously, was it with the Okies, they secured the vaccine position. In other words, there was a little disconnect about whether or not a hygienist, what group that they were in, and they cleared that up. So maybe it's we secured your vaccine position. The point is, pick not a lot of wins. What's one or two things and say, this is how we supported you and the profession this past year. So maybe you want to talk about this continuing ed, because that's a very important point for most of you. You could say we held X number of CE programs or X number of education programs, right? So tell them, what did you give to them? What did you make available? Maybe though, under publications, you want to say, not only do you get the access in the Journal of Dental Hygiene, but we kept you in the loop through, and then list them through Facebook, through our website, right? Talk about how many COVID updates you did. Talk about how many blog posts you did. Talk about how many e-letters, and were they packed with must-know information? So you could take this graphic and you could add it, do something really simple. Don't overspeak it. Don't oversell it. Just say, it's been our pleasure supporting you in so many ways. Here's a couple of them, and get them out. So my recommendation is that it is worthwhile for you to think about doing this, not just at the end of the year, but throughout the year. Maybe at the beginning of the year, you say, we're going to do 6 e-letters. So after quarter 2, you say, guys, we're on track. We've got 3 of our 6 done and we're super excited. Maybe you say, we're going to do 12 webinars. And again, half year, you say, we've got 6 webinars under, and look what's coming up as we march towards our promise to you for webinars that make a difference. This is news. It's newsworthy news that also has this great opportunity of helping people connect in. So I'm going to suggest maybe sit around with the board. Just kind of, have any of you used the whiteboard in your Zoom meetings? It is a lot of fun. Pull up the whiteboard and get a group of people together and just start typing what's relevant when we think support, what's relevant of what we did with continuing education. You will build this in no time at all. Okay. So I had somebody asked about getting to know more about Canva, and I'm going to say that you might want to reach out to Tony or to Tiffany's, a couple of your peers here on the call, and learn a little bit more. You can also go to canva.com and learn more about it. It's fun. I'm always being told that I spend too much time on it, but that's another whole question. We won't get into that right now. All right. Those of you that have been with us on a couple of these webinar journeys know that my goal is always to give you something that you could pick up and do immediately. I mean, my goal is for you to have something that you can take away, something that you can act on immediately. And I think that, to me, that's one of the most important things that comes out of this, is giving you those elements that allow you to really be able to make a difference. And so here's my best guess at some you can do it today action items. And I'd love to see you add some of your own in the chat as we go through. So it's all based on this first step of pull your former member list. You got to do that first. Get that there. Take a look at the folks. Now, confused about where that is? So here you are. You're going to log into your portal and you're going to see right here under the details, you're going to see the reports. Now, I've got some super cool staff members on here as partners in this webinar. Any questions, type away and they'll be happy to answer. But that list is there and it's super simple to get. And you're going to pull them. And now you're going to have this incredible set of opportunities for you to have conversations. So what you're going to do is I want you to consider, and you're going to pick one of these, consider reaching out. So take a look at that list. Who do you know? What do you know about any of these folks? Pick up a call, pick up a phone, make a quick call, make it chatty. This is not a sales pitch. I do not want you to sell. I want you to do a check-in. I want you to find out what's on their mind. And I want you to say hello. You know, we're so busy and we're so isolated still. What if somebody just called up just to say hello? So make a call. Secondly, you could consider creating some bite-sized engagement opportunities. So what do I mean by this? I mean, as an example, maybe a set of emails, and each email is a single topic. It highlights only one item. So don't say here's a link to our page with a lot of benefits. No, it's short, it's sweet, and it basically says, hey, did you know about this? So I stole this next idea from another association who took this like kind of one step further, and I kind of like this idea. So I'm going to add to this action item a sequence you could do. The first email is hello, just to check in, and we miss you. That's all. You really want people to know that they're missed. People like to feel that they were missed. So this opportunity to do a real quick email. The second email is going to let them know what has changed. It's going to let them know why it's better than ever. I call it the rediscover ADHA. So this is where you might say, hey, since we missed you, the following X things have happened. So it gives you the opportunity really here to sort of plug something that is unique or different. 3 is tap into that FOMO. Tease about something that's coming up. Maybe there's something in the members only section. If you've got, say you've got 2 Facebook pages, some number of you do, one closed, one open, you could say over in the closed section for members only, we have this conversation. So just tap into something. Don't give them a laundry list. Pick anything you know about them, make that connection. And then email 4. I don't want you to over push email on this kind of stuff. They've already gotten lots of emails from the organization. I realize that, and from many of you. So it could be good that your 4th email is simply, is it okay if I keep you in the loop? I really want to keep you connected with some of the stuff that's going on. So you just I'm calling it the ask permission, but you're still going to do it anyway, right? So anyway, just a suggestion. Even if you don't do that, you could do 1 or 2 emails where, again, highlight one idea. Hey, do you know about this? Click here. Now, the other thing I'm going to suggest, and this may seem counterintuitive, but stay with me. As a membership marketer from many, many years, stay with me and see if this will fit you. Rarely do I, in an email like this, put the link to the join page. I put the link to the most robust, richest page I can for a non-member. So for example, if you have recently updated your calendar and you've got 3 or 4 media events, I would say, we really are looking to have new and fresh ideas. Hey, check them out. Here's a link. Now, they're going to get to that join or renew page. The reason I want you to do this is the idea here is bite-sized engagement. I can link through, I can see something, I'm connecting with the content. So, give that a try. All right. Number 3, add something new to share. Is it going to be an audiogram? Is it going to be a good morning program? Is it going to be that set of calls? Find something that you can add that gives you an excuse to go out to this group of people. Remember, They joined for a need. If you've done that phone call, you might even know what was important to them, and you can tailor this even more. But add something new. When you innovate, when you create new, you are saying, I'm responsive to members, and that is a connection. And another great example, this came from one of you guys, was to invite to a member reunion. So plan an event. So here's an idea. We are finally seeing, as I said at the beginning, the light at the end of the tunnel. We are going to see a whole new world as more and more of us get vaccinated. What if you said, hey, it's been a long year. Come to our member reunion. And you invite all members and have the opportunity to connect with them. Or maybe you just go to the people who haven't renewed and say, we want to invite you just to come and have some conversation. Do some kind of a really fun icebreaker that lets them get to meet people. I think that one of the things that we sometimes miss is we walk into a virtual room or a main room and we don't know anybody. And so we walk out without having made a welcoming connection. So a fun icebreaker can do something like that. So what kind of icebreakers have you guys done in the past? Let's go ahead and light up the chat with some examples and some ideas. Party barge, I love that as a welcome back. That is very cool. Let's see, somebody had asked if you had a COVID join list, any ideas on how to engage those who joined because of the COVID outreach? Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm going to go back to the idea that if they joined purely because of COVID, there is something else that's important to them. Once the COVID urgency is off, or once they feel it's solved, there's another problem. There's always another problem, another issue. Discover what that is and connect that individual to the solution. So if it is, okay, I can do this, but now I'm behind on my CEs. Let me show you how to get your CEs. Maybe it's, yeah, but now I'm underemployed. Let me introduce you to some other hygienists and see if we can help you make some connections. It's really about I have to tell you, it's really about that asking that question of what's important. So I don't know what a party barge is, Linda, but I agree. Let's ask everybody, what is a party barge and who Austin had the idea. Okay, Austin. So tell us a little bit more in chat if you can about that. All right. The last suggestion I have for you as an act now is something that I had the Grant Professionals Association's Missouri chapter did this. They did a member care kit and they got locally sourced items. They put it into this kit. It was like a special coffee and some other things. They had a sponsor help them do this, and they delivered a member care kit to their members. And all they said to their members was, hey, we care about you. And the sponsor helped them. And of course, the sponsor felt great about being connected. So I suggest to you that even though someone has lapsed, they're still a part of the group. And maybe a member care kit now is a great way for you to make those connections. So Melissa says it's a boat party on the river. I love that idea. A Just Dance party, virtual and live instruction, live dance and instruction. I love that, Greater Detroit, Sandy. Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Describe your first day on the job. Very nice. Oh, Linda, I love that idea. They took some of their money and they sent each member a $5 Starbucks card and a Christmas card saying, thank you for your membership. Those are the kind of connections that will make a difference. Awesome. So, I always got to ask you this question. We gave you some of those ideas. We've given you lots of things to think about, but it's really important that you actually commit to something. So what I'm hoping is you will take the time now in chat to commit to something. And while you're doing that, are there any questions that we can chat? I know the Q&A is on, so I'm going to take a look at that. Okay, looks like we answered that one. Any other questions or any other great ideas? Member appreciation yoga class free for members. I love that. Yes, I think figuring out how to ramp up your social media for folks that are so busy and they're on social media anyway. So it really works. It's a good win-win. Yes. Okay. I want to see those infographics and I want you to share them with each other. I love it. A members only quarterly prize drawing. I like that idea. These are the kinds of things that allow people to connect without having to get in the room. Excellent. Very cool. Keep those ideas coming. Keep those ideas coming. While you're doing that, what I want to share with you is just to make sure that you're completely aware that we are going to be dropping 2 recorded conversations. One is, can anyone hear me? All about content and conversation. And then we're going to talk about making connections that last, because you're into this new phase now where we're bringing in new members, and we got to make sure that we can do onboarding and connections that will not make it so tough to renew them next time. Then we're back together again, yay, on 4/29, and that's Ask Me Anything. So you bring the questions you have and we will find an answer for you. Anyway, lots of good information here. Keep the chat going. I'm going to turn the baton back over to the team because we have something special to share with you. Someone asked, the reunion idea is great when the rest of the world opens up just a little bit more. Renee, perfect. And that's the excuse to invite people, even if they've lapsed, because the world has reopened. Let's let COVID be our excuse to bring them back in again. Awesome. Great. Thank you, Renee. Awesome. Hey, Kelsey, I'm going to turn it back over to you and let's share some good news with them.
Great. Thanks, Peggy. Sorry, I had to find the unmute button. So we are so excited to share with you guys tonight a little sneak peek of our new volunteer resource center. And this goes a little bit hand in hand with a redesigned members only site. So if you, I know a couple of you, we already heard from you today that you just went to log into your member profile and noticed a new login page. So I just wanted to take a second and walk you guys through a couple new things that you're going to see. So this is our new landing page. So now it doesn't go directly to that profile page, but instead here where you can find the main resources that members are looking for, that you're looking for. Since reports did come up earlier and Peggy was talking about pulling that former member report, I do quickly just want to show you that you can still get to those by coming down here and clicking on My Account. And hopefully the internet will work with me to do this in a timely manner. There we go. So that will take you to, this is, you know, the former, when you logged in, it took you straight to this page. So if you click on this reports tab, you're still going to get all those same reports that you got before. And in case you missed our communication a couple weeks ago, component leaders now have access to the reports tab as well, the board members. So we'll be sending out another reminder about all of that. So if you go under this resources tab and come down to Volunteer Resource Center, this is our new beautiful Volunteer Resource Center. We worked very closely with Peggy actually to put together some new resources. We took our old, if you've been around for a while, I'm sure you have seen our huge 80-page operating guide that was just very, it had great information. We went through it page by page. It has great information. It just was not very user-friendly. So now we're hoping that this is going to be your go-to place for everything. You can come through and click and get answers to all your questions. So for example, in running your organization, we would have information about finances and government and membership operations. I do want to give you a little heads up that we are still working on this, so there might be a couple of places that you would go and see content coming soon. So as this is, you know, just bear with us as we're going through and still getting some of the content up, but we're just so excited to be able to give you this as, again, a great resource. We're going to have videos, so all of these videos that or webinars that we do with Peggy and the ones that we've done in the past are on here. I believe they're under, it depends on which video it is, honestly. So it could be under maximizing your volunteers, growing and engaging your membership. I'm trying to think of ones that I can show you where the videos are. But again, so we're very excited about this. So here's some videos, some tips. And so our goal, again, is for this to be a live place. So we're going to be putting those marketing toolkits up here, and you can, after we get this video from tonight of this webinar, we'll put this up here. And so we're so excited to show that to you, the official announcement, and it's going to go live on Thursday. So because you joined us tonight, you got to see just a little sneak peek. So we're going to be sending that out. And I see, Annette, your question again. On Thursday, we'll be sending out the email to all state and local leaders to go in and start digging in. And to make things fun, we're going to also unveil a little scavenger hunt. So Kelsey C., who's our membership coordinator, went through and found little nuggets of information. We're going to give you a little quiz, and the top people will get a prize. So more information for that on Thursday as well. But just thank you guys for joining us and for bearing with us. I feel like if you've been here again for a while, we've been telling you it's coming, it's coming. And so now it's here, and we're so excited. And we're just, again, constantly going to be updating it and putting more information into it, and just making this your go-to place for volunteer leaders. So if you have questions, you can email me or Kelsey C., and we'll be able to answer that. And I'm looking to see, Linda, we can get you the list of officers who have access to the reports tab, but it's basically going to be your executive board. So we can send out that chart of who gets what.
So I want to just amplify something that Kelsey said, and by saying the words forever beta. This has been a labor of love, and we do think of it as forever beta. So there will be glitches, and there will be lots of fabulous things as well. And your feedback is what's going to allow it to continue to blossom. And a large part of this is sharing kinds of things that we've been talking about today. If you've got infographics, if you've done some really cool conversations or some different events, it's sharing all of that. So I just want to amplify what she said, because to me, forever beta is a wonderful way to live. It's a wonderful way to live.
Yeah. So if anybody has any other questions about the Resource Center or just what Peggy covered, I know we've got about 5 more minutes of time left. If not, we'll be sending out this recording to anyone if you would just like to review it, or we can share it with those who were unable to attend to it tonight.
And watch for the news about the other 2 videos that are dropping, and make sure the 29th of April is on your calendar, because we want to have some fun conversation on that. Don't make me be alone.
Come with questions. It'll be great. And I think Peggy's going to have some prizes, some little giveaways throughout too, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was getting ready to say that I am going to give away one today. And all I need to do is, on the chat, I just need to see somebody tell me one magical thing that they are going to do tomorrow related to this webinar. Canva. Okay, Danielle, you're the first one in. I'm sending you a prize as soon as I know. Oh, look at all of these people. I'm going to send more than one out. I've just decided. Danielle, Kathleen, and Shannon, and Leslie. Oops, and Melissa. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful evening.